Can you guys hear me? It's a little bit too loud. Welcome. Okay, so we're gonna start with our class today. My name is Bibiana Ruiz. I'm gonna be your instructor this morning. I've been with Keller Williams or with my real estate license a little bit over 8 years, with Keller Williams over 3 years, and I was in a previous brokerage for 5 years. Okay, so I'm gonna have you guys introduce yourselves. You guys probably already know each other because you guys come to classes. But we're gonna start with Annalisa. Let's see. How about you?
So it's about summer. I don't actually know when it was, but I got married and I was super busy and stuff. So
Nice.
this year I'm just actually trying to start getting into it. So
That's good.
Adrian, back in June, but just instructed.
Good. Well, welcome everyone. Today's topic is going to be win the buyer, and we're going to start with the process. See if we can figure this out. There you go. Okay. I just like you guys to participate with me in class. Okay, so can one of you guys read this quote? Yes. And that it's really clear, right? When you have a client and you're afraid of asking them if they have business for you, you just ask them. And it might sound a little bit easy, it might sound scary, but that's the only way you're gonna get business in the beginning. And as you go, it gets easier. It's the point of it is just to ask. Ask so that you receive, right? And then if you guys have seen this, if you guys have come to the previous classes, you guys have seen this graph before. And it's all about, we're gonna discuss about winning the A buyer and what the A buyer is. Okay, do you guys remember what the A buyer is? No? Okay, so the A buyer is anyone that's willing and able to buy within the 10-14 days. Some clients are willing to buy, but are not ready. Some are ready, but are not able. When you have the three of them together, then they become the A buyers. What is your name? Kate. Welcome, Kate. My name is Bibiana Ruiz. Okay. So we said the A buyer is someone that's it's able, ready, and willing to do the business within the next 10-14 days, okay? And how do you follow up with an A buyer? You follow up with them daily. Maybe sending them houses, sending them how the market is, send them any information that they're interested in. And we're gonna talk about that in the class. You just gotta take the action of leading them if they're interested in buying and they're ready, they already have the loan. Don't let them out of your sight. You gotta stay in contact every day. And yeah, maybe not calling them because they might be like, oh, you're calling me every day, you're bugging me. But you can always send them emails, text, just value information, because you always want to be of value to your client. You guys, if you guys have any questions as we go, just let me know, okay? Bless you. Have you guys done your value proposition yet? Have you guys gone to that class of getting that done? Not yet? Okay. And as you keep coming to classes and trainings, you'll get to the point where they teach you how to do the value proposition as well. Okay, so we're gonna do the 7 steps buyer service cycle. The first one, We're gonna get leads and do appointments, prepare the buyer for consultation, buyer's consultation, find home, offer and negotiation with contracts. Once you have the contract and under contract, then we do the contract to close, meaning they're under contract. You guide them throughout the process of inspections, appraisals, and then that's the contract to close and post-closed system. We gotta have a system after we closed a client, after they bought the house. Don't just say goodbye. No, you want to keep them under your radar because they're the ones that will give you a referral and repeat business. And that's what you want for your business, referral and repeat business. Okay, so far in the Ignite classes, you've prepared your stuff to show for your leads and contacts and value to bring for their real estate journey, right? As you've been, I know you guys said that you guys just started, but as you go in the process, you keep learning, and that's how you're gonna learn how to get value to give to your clients. So we're gonna learn to get those leads to the appointments. Let's see. So these are the keys to convert your A buyers, meaning to convert them. Because a lot of the times you get clients, you get leads, referrals, you talk to them over the phone, you know they're interested. The main focus is for you to get them to come to an appointment. And how do you get them to come to an appointment? Giving them value. And a lot of the times they don't want to come to appointments, but that's the only way that you can sit down with them, give them information, show them statistics, and show them your website. Because all of us will have a website once we're already signing with Keller Williams. You have an app. Do you guys know we have an app, right? Okay. So when you get the lead, you want to respond to them right away. Someone gave you an information, I don't know, you get a lead online or a referral, call them right away. And then get the valid and complete information from them and save it into your command, where you have all your database, okay? And when you're talking to them over the phone, you want to determine why they want to buy, their motivation, so that you can speak to that. So if they're probably out of state and they're moving in state because they're going to, I don't know, BYU, UVU, or any other, they change from jobs, or they're moving kids from school. So you want to ask them questions like why you want to move, like how many rooms do you want? The family is growing, or then they're downsizing. So that when you send them houses, properties, or statistics about the market, you're only sending them what they want. Because if you're not sending them what they want, because you don't know, they're gonna look for someone else. So that's what I mean when I say you want to give them value. And then again, set up the appointment, time and date for as soon as possible. And we usually recommend for you to set up the appointment here at the office or at a public place, just so that it's safer. Safer for you and safer for them. If you set it up here at the office, on the main floor, we have rooms, and you can reserve those rooms to make appointments for your clients. And that makes you look so much professional. Because you can always tell them, come to my office. It is your office, you're part of Keller Williams. It's just a matter of you talking to Amanda, and she will save the room, whichever one you want in the time, so that you can have, or give your clients a better experience. Okay? Let's see, let's move on to the next one. So here are 7 close to appointment tactics. So you always, like I said, and sorry, I'm gonna repeat this word a lot, value, because this business is all about you giving value to the client. So you always want to give them the benefits of why you want to set up an appointment with him, and what's the benefit of them coming with you. So when you say, let's meet at the office, a lot of them will say, I don't have time, just excuses. And you always want to be really patient with them. Just because they give you a negative answer, it doesn't mean like they don't want to buy with me. No, just they need more information. So that's why you always want to give them the benefit. Well, if you come to the office, I can show you the properties we have available within your price range, or I can give you more information about the vendors that I work with. So don't just assume that, oh, they don't want to buy with me. I'll just let them go. Well, you're gonna lose business right there. You're gonna lose a big paycheck. So you want to learn as much as you can coming to these classes, so you learn on how to attract you so they can keep coming with you. And later in the future, when you close a transaction with them, which means they buy or sell with you, they'll give you referral. And that's what we as real estate, or as realtors, that's like the main thing we want. We want referral business, repeat business. Because it's easier to get it like that than to keep looking for new clients. I mean, that's what I think, because my business is like 90% referral business and repeat. So that's why giving value to the clients, it's a lot of value to me. Yeah. Okay, so number 4, it says give them what they're looking for. And they're just looking for more information on, because if they're brand new first-time home buyers, they just want to get as much information as they can. And that's why you're there, to give them information. And when we're new, we're like, well, I don't even know. Well, then that's why you want to come to the classes. Come to the trainings. Every Tuesday we have training here. And you as new agents have training with the lead camera. I think that's who's teaching you guys, right? He will give you guys more information as well. And if you guys ever get stuck with anything, he's more than happy to help you guys. Because it's better for you to tell your client, let me find out the answer, than to say, oh, I don't know that. If you don't know, because when we're new, we don't know. Sometimes not even when we're older in the business, we don't always have an answer. But we always want to tell the clients, let me find out the answer for that question. And then you find out the answer right away and get back to them. Or else they will find it somewhere else. Because that's just how it is. Okay? Any questions so far? Okay. Let's see. So here are some of the objections that clients might have when you ask them to meet with you, to set up an appointment, to come to the office, or meet with them at a public place, just for the safety. Because if it's someone that you don't know, no one refer them to you. You just got a lead out of, I don't know, online, and they say, I want to meet with you. Can you come to my house? It's not safe for you. It's not, because you don't know them. You can meet them at a public place, but it's always safer to meet at the office, and it looks more professional. Like I was mentioning, upstairs, you can always use those rooms. So you already have, let's say you already have a lead, and you're talking to them and you're asking them to come to the appointment, and all of a sudden they just have rejections. Ask them more questions. And let me read this. Okay, when a buyer objects to meeting with you, what are some of your first thoughts? Rejections, definitely no, they're not, or they're, sometimes you can say they're being unreasonable. They don't want to meet with me. I've already answered all their questions. Or what, have you guys start talking to new clients about the business? What kind of rejections have you guys received? Any of you? You haven't had rejections yet? Have you had any business? How about you? They're okay. Okay. How about you?
I think there's gonna be some people, it's like when you reach out to them and they're not. So I think that's
Uh-huh.
rejection. Yeah, but I do, I have that, so if they're rejecting their, oh, well, what we are right That might be 2 years down the road, but it's something that they know now that I'm. in.
Yeah.
So,
And with those, like you say, they know that that I do real estate. So for the future, what you can do is when you start doing your emails every month, send them an email every month, send them a text message here and there, so they have you in mind. Because if they're gonna be ready in 2 years, but then you haven't talked to them within those 2 years, someone else will show up in those 2 years and then they'll get the business. But if they have you in mind because you keep sending them emails or messages every month or every a couple of weeks, then they'll be like, oh yeah, she's the one that keeps sending me messages. Yeah, let's talk to her. So that's why we gotta keep being in their mind or top of mind by sending them information, valuable information that's related to real estate. And even if it's not just valuable information, just like Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, Happy Thanksgiving, just little things like that, so they know that you're still there. That would help a lot. Okay. Okay, so those are some of the like a brief rejections of limited beliefs. And believe it or not, having rejections or getting rejections are good. They're buying signals and other steps closer to purchase decision. Objections are a response to, I don't know enough yet, or you haven't answered all my questions. So on some of those rejections, when they say, well, I'm not ready yet. Oh, I'm not ready to buy. Oh, what can I do to help you get ready? Maybe, well, I don't even know if I qualify. Oh, good. I work with some lenders. I can give you information with the lender. I can get you connected. We can set up appointment with the lender. So always give them options. And that's how you're providing them value of when you learn. And as you learn, as you're in the process of learning, you always want to interview with lenders, title companies, inspection companies, so that before you refer one of your clients to a vendor, you want to know them. Because what if they don't like the vendor? And just because they don't like the vendor, they don't want to come back with you because you refer them to someone that they didn't feel comfortable with. So that's one advice I would give you guys. Before you refer someone or your client to a vendor, which is a lender, title company, or an inspection company, you always want to interview with them. Make sure you like them first before you send them. Because, or else they might just ruin your business, because it happens. And when you get a rejection, just like I was explaining to Gracie, instead of walking away at the first sign of a rejection, there's a system for exploring and solving the rejection and objection right away, which is staying in contact with it. Like, don't just go away. Oh, they don't want my business. See ya. No, just stay in contact with them because it's for your own good. Yeah. Okay, so reviewing the 5 steps. Let's see. And but going back to the rejection, asking questions, investigate deeper, tell more about that. Tell me more about that, what rejection is that they're giving you when they reject on not meeting you with you. And also, you can also tell them, help me understand what you need. Let's see. Because a lot of them, they don't even know what they want. They just know that they want to buy. So you want to ask more questions, get deeper, and emphasize to them that you acknowledge what they're saying and understand how they feel. If they feel like, well, interest rate is too high. Oh, I understand how you feel. And it can get better. I mean, and it's better to buy than rent. Because with rent, you won't ever get any benefit out of it. You rent for 10 years, they don't even give you the deposit. You own for 10 years, you're gonna make money out of that. So it's just getting more tactics on turning around their rejection in a good way, because you don't want to be rude or else you're gonna lose the business right away, right? And then urge an agreement. On that one, you just want asking it again for the appointment. Oh, call me back in a month, or I'm working on getting my credit fixed because my credit is not good right now. Okay, I'll call you back in a couple months. So put it in your calendar to call them back in a couple months. But in the meantime, send them messages, send them properties. If they've already told you, oh, I want to buy this house, or I want to buy a house in this neighborhood, and they have 3 kids or 4 kids, so they probably need 5 rooms. Just send them houses within the neighborhood that they say they like, and houses within the space that they want. Even though they might not be within the price range, because we don't know yet, but at least you're sending in something of value, keeping them in mind, and for them to keep you in mind. Okay? So if a buyer continues to object to a meeting after you've addressed their concerns and offer solution, continue to cultivate the relationship and provide value just as you would with with any lead or contact in your database. And don't just give up. We already talked about that. We went ahead of the game. Any aha so far? Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna prepare for the buyer consultation. So preparing for the buyer consultation, we recommend for you to have a checklist. They already confirmed that, okay, yeah, that's fine, let's meet up. So then you say, okay, let's meet up tomorrow, 5 o'clock at the office. So you wanna talk to Amanda, save one of the rooms upstairs, make it look professional. What I usually do when I have appointments for my clients, I usually, before the client comes in, I show up 5-10 minutes early. I make sure that the conference room is clean, the table is clean and organized, because there's pens and mouses all over the table that we have in the conference room. So I always like to organize everything in one spot and clean the table. And I always grab snacks from the title company, because they have candies and cookies. They're free, so I will grab a bunch and put it on the table. Grab some waters from next to the water machine up in the lobby, and put it in the middle. So when they come in, they can have a snack and water so they can feel comfortable. Okay, that's what I do. So then you always want to confirm the appointment the day before. Obviously, if you guys make the appointment the day before, then you should be. But if you made the appointment the week before, always confirm your appointment the day before, the time and date. Confirm with them the location. So you always want to make sure that you send them the message with the address of wherever you guys are meeting at. And once again, confirming the time and the date. And you want to make sure that all decision makers are at the meeting. And why both or all decision makers? Because if only the wife comes, then she's gonna be like, well, let me consult with my husband. Or if it's only the husband and both of them are decision makers, it's better to have both of them in the office. Yeah, sometimes now all of them can come, but it's better if they all can come, because that will save you guys more work. Because if not, it's relaying messages back and forth to the other one, or what I do when it's more than one decision maker, I always make a group message with all the decision makers so that they all know what's going on. So if we're gonna go see a house, we're gonna see these houses. So which house? It's in the message for all of them. Like right now, I have a family that there's 4 decision makers that we're showing houses. And I made a message for the 4 of them, so they all know what's going on. So we're all on the same page. It's way easier when we do that. And then complete your buyer's guide. I don't know if you guys have gone to the point of having to play with command and learning everything we have in there, all the documents. But we do have in there a buyer presentation and we'll go through that in a little bit. And then, so you want to have your buyer presentation, prepare the meeting space, which, like I said, I clean the table and get all the snacks ready. And review the lead sheet if you already have information on them, just review, oh, they have 3 kids, they want to buy in Saratoga, not outside of Saratoga, or they're open to go anywhere in Utah County. So just review that information so that when you're interviewing them at the meeting, you're not like, remind me, or what was it? It makes you look better when you already have that information in mind. Okay? Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so on this one, top 10 services area of the buyer value proposition. Needs analysis. Needs analysis is, what do you guys need in the house? Like, you want to get a house. So if they're moving from an apartment, do you guys want to move out to a townhome or a house? Like, can you afford a house or you can only afford a townhome? And do you need 3 rooms or 4 rooms, 2 bathrooms or 3 bathrooms, backyard, no backyard? So that's what all that need is when it gets to needs analysis. Pre-qualification or pre-approval. You want to know if they've already been pre-approved, if they've already talked to a lender. If they haven't, that's when you would recommend the lender that you work with. Because you can work with one lender, you can work with however you want. But just once again, recommendations. You always want to interview them before you refer your clients over. Because you want to like them so they don't screw up your relationship with the client. Neighborhood information. What kind of neighborhood are they looking for? They're looking to move on the east side of Provo or the west side of Provo. So that information, then that's when you will be writing things down if you don't know them yet. So that when you're ready to send them, when they're ready to, I say, they've been already pre-approved, they've already talked to the lender and they say they've been approved for 500,000. Okay, so what neighborhood that they want? So then you would send them the properties, because you already have all this information, you will send them the properties that are within their price range and within the community that they want. So that's the home search. And then make an offer. Once we have that pre-approval, we've already searched for properties and they said, this is the one I want. So then you make the offer, you negotiate on their behalf, coordinate with vendors, which is you would coordinate once you have the contract, you will send it to the lender, the title company, and then you will start working with the inspection. If they want to do a professional inspection, then you talk to the inspector that you usually work with and have them set up the appointment so you can get the inspection done. Pre-close preparation, you want to make sure that everything's straight out, everything's clean with title company, that the appraisal has been done, all negotiations have been done before the closing. And then on the closing day, then you help them set up the time and date with the title company so that they can come in close and bring the documents, do the wire transaction that they have to do when it gets to depositing the money with the title company. And post-closing, we want to keep them in mind. After we close with the client, like we mentioned earlier, we want to keep them in mind, not because we close, we just say bye, no. Keep them in mind if we have events, invite them. If they have, you can always talk to them and see if they have family members, if they have friends that they want to refer to you, they're interested in buying. Tell them to give them your information to them so that you can contact them. Share the information. Your client will give you the family friend information and the other way around. Okay. So, see. So for example, for me, when it gets to post-closing, we have events here at the office. We have Summer Splash, which is the office rents the post over at, Provo. Summit, yeah, I think that's what it's called, right? Yeah, it used to be Seven Peaks. Right now it's something Splash.
Oh,
Summit Splash, something like that. Yeah, but it used to be Seven Peaks, yeah. That's how I always remember it. We do that in the summer, and so we as agent are allowed to buy tickets for our clients. So that's what I always give to my clients. I always invite my clients that have already closed with me, I always invite them with their families to come to the pools in the summer. And then in fall, in September, we have the pumpkin patch in Springville. It's also for the whole office. You as an agent can buy tickets for your clients, you give it to your clients, invite the whole family, and they have a blast. It's so fun. So that's some of the events that I do for post closings. I also do pop-bys. Do you guys know what that is? Do just do a little something and come and give it to them to their house, leave it at their doorstep if they're not home. And just, I do that for New Year, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Mother's Day, and 4th of July. So I do 4 of those throughout the year. And they love it. Everyone's always so grateful that I still remember them from years. And that's why every time I do one of those, I always have a business from that. I always have business from that. So that's for me big. So it's one of the main things that I like to do, events for my clients. And that's part of the post closing. So we don't want to stay away from them. Any questions so far? All good? Let's see, what's the next one? Buyer's guide content. So the buyer's guide, it's in command. And on this one, we have Andrew, our tech guy here in the office that can help you guys find it. This one, it's like I said, it's in command and it's completely customizable. So you guys will find it, it's completely there. You would just customize it with your information. You can get your buyer presentation, so you can have it ready for whenever you have an appointment with a client. Then have it ready for the appointment, give it to your clients so they know what to expect. That will make you look so professional. Let's see. So the buyer guides, this is the table of content that it has. It has your dream home, your preferences, your neighborhood, buying 101. So that gives them the information of what the whole process it is. And you as new agents, it would be good for you guys to review it so you know what value you're providing your clients. Because this is really good. And at your service, my promise, and then glossary, like all the details that it's gonna be in this package. It's a big package. Well, a few pages. They do have, I think they do have them in Spanish. Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I translated mine because I think they just barely did the Spanish one not too long ago. I think it was just last year. But when I came in, I translated mine through Google. I still didn't use AI back then. But now using AI to translate is way better than Google, like way better. So that might be helpful. What other language were you thinking?
I know how to speak Portuguese.
Yeah.
And that's similar to my start.
Oh.
So I'm guessing that we would have to talk with administration here, like, if we even wanted to like copy this and then post like our own transmission, like make our own.
That's what I did. I made my own package. I mean, with the main idea. But I did translate it because I didn't have it when I first started. And that was a lot of help. Because then I could give it to my clients and they can read it. And that provides a lot of value. Because if in the middle of the process, they have some questions and they remember I gave them a little booklet, they can go through it because it says buying 101. That gives them a lot of the steps that we're gonna go through the process of buying. Yeah. So build your own preferences profile. In here, you can also add, like what specific wants do they have? So that's how you can build it as well. And all this, like I said, it's in command. And I'm not too techie, but Andrew is, and he can help you guys guide you so that you guys can customize it with your own information. So whenever you give it out to clients, not only do they have your information in their phone, but every time they pick up the booklet, your information is going to be there. And see their wish lists, what do they want? Like we were talking about earlier, like how many kids do they have? How many rooms do they want? Okay, if we find a house that has all the rooms, but the backyard is small, would that be negotiable or not? Things that could be negotiable or non-negotiable for the house. Because a lot of the times they can be like, well, we need 4 bathrooms. What if it's 3.5? Oh, I guess that will do. Not specifically 4 rooms, 4 bathrooms. And then, see, this one, it's also all the templates that we can find in command for the neighborhood watch. You can find in command, you can find templates for open houses. And yeah, like I said, in the beginning, I translated a lot of those just because my main market is Spanish speaking. So that was a lot of help for me. It gave me a lot of ideas because everything's here. Like everything you need is in command when it gets to documentation. And if you want to translate it, AI is really good. It is really good at translating in Spanish. I don't know about the other languages. Yeah, it's way better than Google for sure. Let's move on. Let's go prepare. Let's see, buyer guide, how buying works. See, all this information, it's so good for your clients. Because it's part of your buyer presentation. So you give it to them and you point it out as you talk to them in the process. So you always want to review it before you go into the appointment because you want to be ready of what you're going to say. So you print it out, you give it to them, and you can always print out one for yourself. And as you're changing pages, so that they remember when they go home, they forgot to ask you a question, they can go through the booklet and they might even find it there because it's part of the process. Let's see. Any aha so far? No ahas? Okay, let's go. Okay, so in this one, we're preparing to buy for the buyer presentation. Like I said, we're gonna print out the buyer presentation. We print out one for us, one for the client. And if we know more than one is coming, so we always wanna have extras ready. And you always wanna have extra buyer packages with you, just in case all of a sudden you meet someone at the store and they say, oh, I have time right now, let's go and talk about it. Oh, okay, let me get it out and talk to them. So they know that you're ready. Because by then you might already know what to tell them. But if you have that with you, that would be a lot more value. Because I don't know about you guys, but just like when you go to the doctor, oh, I don't have any questions. And then you leave the office and you're like, oh, I forgot to ask the doctor this. The same thing, they might forget to ask you questions, but then they have the booklet and they can always review it. Okay. So we already went through that. We print out the booklet. And so when we're getting ready for the buyer presentation and to receive the buyer into the appointment, what kind of mindset should you have? What do you guys think? We should have a confident, open, caring, and ready to win mindset, right? We want to show that we're confident. And how do we show that? We're just preparing the package and reviewing it. And the more you review it, it'll just stay in your head. But you want to review it, so when you give it to them, reviewing page by page. And throughout the time, like they say, the more you review it, the better it gets. That's how it would be. So we have discussed limited beliefs many times before in other classes, and here when we say when they do rejections, don't take it in a mean way, just keep giving them information. So when we're getting ready for the buyer consultation, it's not the place to have negative or limited beliefs, right? You know what you are talking about, you're prepared, and you are the agent that's best going to serve them. So this is not, there is no room for negative or small thinking. And for that, we're gonna review this quote. Okay, I need someone to read this for me. And so let's all read this at once. Ready? I am knowledgeable and caring and the best agent for these clients. They will appreciate my expertise and preparation and choose me to present them or present as they buy a home. And that's the mindset we should have going into an appointment with the buyer or going in to meet someone. Because that will show that we're confident. Like we're confident, we know what we're doing, and we're here to help you out, right? Because if they can see the opposite, then they're gonna be like, oh, I don't know that I want to stay with this person. They don't know what they're saying. And that's how it is in the beginning as we're learning, but that's why we keep coming to classes. Yeah, we might not have the experience of closing a deal, but we do have the experience from these other agents. I'm learning from these other agents that have the experience from so many years. And that's how you learn. Okay, let's move on to the next one. And let's go back. What's one way to combat any negative thinking that you guys can think of? Any thoughts? What do you guys do when you have negative thoughts?
think when I met with him for the first time, to sign the onboarding agreement, whatever, he said something that I think really stuck with me. He said that like when you are first approaching your buyers to think in your head, like nobody wants to take that kind of home that
Mm-hmm.
so even if you just like have that desire,
Mm-hmm.
I think that can get you. Like you don't have to know everything, but just you
Yeah.
wanting to, it will help
Yeah.
you to perform better and you'll see that.
Yeah.
I think through all the actions, and so, yeah, if you want it, it's what.
And yeah, that's one of the main things, because you really want to help them and show them that, yeah, I might not have all the experience as the previous agents or other agents, but I do, like, for reals want to help you out. I do care for what you want, and I do care that I want to serve you better, representing you with your purchase or your sale, whichever one it is. Yeah. And so one of the things that we can do with negative thinking is to combat the negative thinking is with affirmations. We can, if we go through the process of, oh, I don't know much, they're not gonna like me, just get yourself some good affirmations every morning before you get out of the house, so you're all ready. And if you're about to go into the meeting and those are coming back in mind, just take them out and bring your affirmations within you, so that makes you feel relaxed and more confident. It helps out, trust me. We all go through that. Okay, so the next one, we're gonna welcome the buyer. And on this one, how would you guys welcome the buyer? I told you guys how I welcome my buyers. I clean the space, I grab snacks. I mean, before I used to have an office upstairs and I would have a goodie drawer. I would call it a goodie drawer and I would have a lot of snacks. So I would just grab them from my drawer. But since I don't have a office anymore, then I would just grab like a couple of snacks from the title company and the waters and just put all together. Because that gives the clients a sense of feeling comfortable when you share your information and some snacks and water, so they feel more confident. I mean, that's how I feel when I go for appointments and I can feel that they have snacks and goodies. That makes me feel more at home. And because that's how I feel, I want to make my clients feel the same way. I don't know. I think it works out. It works out for me. And how about you guys? I want us to role play. How would you guys receive your clients? Have you guys practiced before? None of you guys? Nice. Uh-huh. That's nice. Have you met with them in person? Okay.
So we didn't have like, first meeting, because we know each other.
Okay. That's good. See, and those are exceptions. Because I mean, I have clients that they've been referred to me by my previous client or a family member or a friend. So then that gives me more confidence of meeting with them. I've talked to them over the phone several times. And then they finally say, well, yeah, why don't you come to the house? And I'm like, to the house? Okay, yeah, fine. I'm like, it's gonna be okay. They're family from this client. So then that makes me feel more comfortable. But if it was someone that I did not know completely and they say, can you come to my house? I wouldn't go. I don't know, I'm so scared. I don't like to meet with people that I don't know, like out of nowhere. And when I have listings and I have someone call me, oh, I saw your listing. Can you show us a house? And I'm like, okay. I call my husband, can you come with me? I don't like to go on showings with people that I don't know or just like that. Like I haven't met them in person and then they call me out of nowhere and they want to see a house, but I don't know them. So I always have my husband come with me. Sometimes he's not able to because he's working, but whenever he's able to, he comes with me and he waits for me outside. So I'm like, I'm scared. And it shouldn't be because that's what this business is. You meet with people out of nowhere, but you always want to be safe. Especially as women, we always have to be safe for our own good. Because you never know. In the beginning, when I first got my license, I went to a training of self-defense over at the board. And they taught us about that. Like you should never go into a showing with someone that you don't know, especially you as woman, because you never know. And so ever since then, I'm like scared to go on my own. And I've been in the business for over 8 years and it's still the same. So, I mean, I've gone to showings from my listings that I've opened the door for them with people that didn't know forever or didn't know at all. And two of them have become really good friends. And I'm like, you never know. But you never know, that's why you want to be safe. Because there's been stories of people that have not had good luck. And that's why they do those self-defense classes. Because you want to take care of yourself. And it's mostly with women that go through danger. But it's just being safe and being careful. And yes, you as women are welcome to bring your husbands. They can wait for you guys outside, but just so that people know that you have someone with you, that you're not alone. You see what I mean? But don't get scared. Real estate is fun. It's fun. You just gotta be safe. And they gave us classes about that, so I'm not making things up. Or scaring you guys. Okay, so when I have I usually set up appointments here at the office. I use the conference room a lot. So whenever they come to the office, I'm usually at the conference room and I see that they're coming, or Amanda calls me, your client is here. I come out of the conference room, meet him at the lobby, shake hands, welcome, and just to break the ice, I'm like, do you guys live far from here? Even though sometimes I already know where they live, but just so that we can open up the conversation. How was the traffic? How was the road? So just whatever. You guys come out straight from out of work, just some small conversations to keep it going. And that's how I receive my clients before we go into the conference room. Then they go into the conference room, have a seat. I have some snacks and waters. You're welcome to have them. And then if I haven't met them in person, but we've talked a lot over the phone, I give them a business card and then go from there. Go with the presentation. I usually start with their needs. What do they need? What do they want? If they've talked with the lender before, which sometimes they've already done it, because a lot of the times when I talk to them over the phone, they say, well, yeah, let's make up an appointment. Let's set up an appointment. And a lot of the times I ask them, do you want to set up the appointment with the lender or just with me? Because if it's with the lender, that's one of the things that I always do. I always go with them with the appointment to see the lender. So I know and I learn from the lender with what their numbers will be, the interest, their down payments, because for some reason your clients think that you know it all. So you're showing them houses and they're like, do you know what my down payment is going to be for this? If you didn't go with them to the appointment, you're not going to know. You can give an estimate, but it's not the same. Or do you know what the interest rate will be for this? Or do you know, like, all these lender questions and you're like, well, I'm not the lender. Let me ask the lender. But if you went with them to the appointment, you can always say, because I take notes. I always open up my phone to my notes and write down what the lender is saying with the numbers. And if they say, do you know what my down payment is going to be like? So I open up my notes. Well, the lender said this much. The lender said this much. The lender said this number. You see what I mean? So they're not like, oh yeah, you know it all. No, I don't, but the lender said. And no, you're not a lender. That's what you're saying. The lender said. Because you can learn as much as you want and can, and you should learn as much as you can with the lenders as well. But at the end of the day, you're not the lender. So it's always good to know, but they're the lenders. Mhm.
But,
No.
you ever, like you were talking about reasons for rejection from there, I feel like I know a lot of people who want to buy their first house, but they're like, there's no way that would work, but they're renting
They
like
don't even know.
2,000 or more
Mhm.
dollars worth, well, their rent is like 2,000.
Mhm.
Do you ever start out a conversation like, well, hey, let's just see what you can get approved for?
Thank you.
Do you ever start off the conversation with, let's just see what you could get approved for it, and like start them out with a lender to kind of like, because you as a real estate agent, you don't know
Mm-mm.
if they actually can afford it. Like
No.
you can't actually answer that question.
Mhm.
So do you ever start them out with a lender to kind of like,
Yes.
say, let's see if you're ready?
And to be honest, most of my clients, I start them out with a lender. Yeah, because see, and this is what, when you ask them, how's your credit? Oh, it's really good. Okay. And how's your income? Oh, I make $20 and my husband makes $30. Oh, that's $50 an hour among them too. So that sounds like a pretty fair qualification, but you don't know. And you don't know if they have debt. And they're like, no, our credit is good. Yeah, but what about your debt? Oh, then you take them to the lender and they're like, oh, each of them has a car payment. Well, that's not good. Oh, their credit, each of them has a credit card that it's maxed out. So that's not good, so they can't qualify. As much as they make, they can't qualify. That's why I always start, well, not always, but most of the time with my clients, we start with the lender. So
You do that before this first appointment?
I do.
Okay, so you
So-
do the lender and then you do this first time.
So I do the lender, and when we're done with the lender, we have a pretty long conversation, just keep going. And that's where I pretty much do my presentation. And whenever they don't want to see the lender, then that's when I receive them at the office, and I usually receive them at the office. But I do a lot of, I don't know, maybe a lot of the times. I go to the lender before we come to the office. And only a few of them that they don't go to the lender right away because they do know and they're like honest with their credit.
Yeah.
They're like, we just want to talk to you so we know what we're into, and we want to know the steps to get closer to buying a house because we know our credit is not good. So then we set up the appointment and we talk about everything that they need to be done, that needs to be done, what they want, what they need, and the process. But yeah, whenever they're like, oh, I want to buy a house, but I don't think I can afford it. Well, why don't we talk to the lender? I mean, we don't lose anything by talking to the lender. And on the other way, we gain, because what if we do qualify for a house? And we thought all this time that we couldn't. So let's just give it a try. Tell them, let's just give it a try. Let's talk to the lender. And depending on what he say, then we can move forward.
There's no fee unless they actually work.
Yeah, yeah. And the fee is part of their closing cost. So, and they don't pay you, because a lot of them are like, oh, but I don't have the money to pay for your consultation. Well, I don't charge anything. You'll pay me when you buy a house. That's what I told my clients last week. They came, they knew about their credit, so, and when we're done with the consultation, she's like, so how much do we owe you? And I say, no, you don't owe me anything. Oh, we don't have to pay for the consultation? You'll pay me when you buy a house. But it was, they were friendly and they were nice, so I just say, you'll pay me when you buy a house. So it was kind of a joke, but that's what it is. I mean, I don't know anyone, any agent that charges for a consultation. So I'm not gonna be the first one. So that's how we receive, or I receive my buyers. So the buyers needs analysis. This is where you can start writing things out. I mean, the writing is so fair, like you can't even read it, right? But it's just a lot of questions, like we were mentioning earlier. What kind of house do you want? How many rooms do you want? How many bathrooms? Backyard, no backyard, HOA, no HOA, because that's really important. Because you want to know if they're okay with a property being in an HOA. Because a lot of them are not okay with that. Especially if they have like a whole bunch of cars, they can't even afford an HOA. Because the HOAs don't have a lot of space for people to park their cars, so. Man, they have kids, they want a backyard, or the husband doesn't care about backyard because he doesn't want to mow the lawn. So all those questions, if you're like, I don't even know what to ask them, just pull this paper in front of you, and there's plenty of questions for you to start a conversation with your client. And you knowing all this information of how do you want the exterior to be? How do you want the interior to be? Do you want the kitchen to have an island, or it doesn't matter? Do you want open space or more privacy? Do you want a second story or just main floor, just a rambler? Do you want a basement or basement? So all that information, it's a lot of information for you to give them what exactly they want. And yeah, I always tell the clients, we will hardly ever find a property that's 100% what you want, but we will find something that's really close to it. Because even if you think, oh, it's 100% what I want, at the end of the day, you'll find little details that it's like, oh, that's not what I want. But that's when it's like, is that negotiable? Is it negotiable that the house doesn't have a second story but has a basement? Is that okay? Or do you just want main floor period? You see? Or maybe not a second floor, but it does have a basement, 2 levels. Is that still okay? So this questionnaire is really good for you guys to get more information. And by you asking all these questions to your client, that will give you guys more, or them trusting you more, that you can do and represent them. You see what I mean? Okay, so yeah, this is, filling out this questionnaire is really big when it gets to your consultation. Yeah,
Maybe understand.
so see. For me, when I do my consultations, if I have someone on the phone and I can feel that they're trusting me because they're asking me questions and because you can feel when people start trusting you. They feel more confident, they answer your questions easier, they ask you questions easier. So when I can feel that and sense that, then I'm like, that's a consultation already. So let's just go to the lender. Because that them opening like that, and not only that, but when they ask me several questions and we have several conversations before we see each other in person, then for me, that's a consultation, because then that already opened the door for me to ask them all these questions. Oh, so you live in Highland? Yeah, but we want to move to West Valley. Okay, so what area of West Valley? Like all the way to Magna, or just close to South Jordan? I don't know, the area. And so how many kids do you have? Like, it becomes more personal and more relaxing. So then I'm like, then that's my consultation. But a lot of times I have them in here at the office. But most of the time are over the phone and with the lender. So if they already gave me all that information, then then I can tell them, well, why don't we set up an appointment with the lender? I'm pretty sure they can give us an answer to qualify you and give us an estimate of how much you can be approved for. And based on that, then we can see properties within your price range that have the 4 rooms and 2 bathrooms that you want, that have a garage, or the townhome that you want with 3 levels. You see what I mean? So you just gotta learn, and you learn as you go. You learn as you go. If it's easier to just sit them at the office, talk to them, show them all the information, then do it. But if some of them won't batch with you on sitting at the office, but then when you say, well, let's talk to the lender, and they say yes, the main thing is that you meet them one-on-one, like face to face. So if they say, oh yeah, let's meet with the lender, then that's a win for you, because that still counts as a consultation. Because when you're with the lender, then you can be like, oh, they're interested in buying a house with 4 rooms, 2 bathrooms. And you want to make notes of what they tell you. So when you go with the lender and you're helping them answer, they're like, oh, she cares for me. You see what I mean? So that helps a lot. Yeah. So what do you think, having this conversation helps set your buyer's expectation? So you have all these questions for them. What do you think your buyer's expectation from you would be? Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, and she will send me the right information. She will send me a house with 4 rooms and 2 bathrooms, a house, not a condo or a townhome, because I said no condo or townhome. And I told her no HOA, so she will send me the correct information. Or every property that's within the price range and within the area that I'm looking for. And then it's way easier for you to put them under contract like that. Even though we do have clients that like to see a lot of houses because they're undecisive, but that's just like everything else. We get to learn every personality. That's just how it is with this business. You get to learn every personality. And I told myself, I get to learn how to be patient. Because sometimes we get clients that are like really easygoing. 2, 3 houses, they're under contract, they're gone. Meaning like they already bought the house. And then you have a family with 4 decision makers. We've seen 10 houses, they can't decide, and you're like, but that's how it is. Some are easier than others, and that's why you learn as much as you can so that you can better serve them. Because I'm not gonna tell this family with 4 decision makers and 10 after 10 houses, you know what, I think we're done. You gotta choose whichever house you can. Because after all the work, you better get paid. And that's why you better give them good service. Okay? Let's see. So we're not supposed to have love letters anymore? I mean, anymore, because before there was some period of time where people will send offers and send a letter why my client loves this house and why my client likes this house or wants this house. And they used to be called love letters, but that's not allowed anymore. Any ahas? Have you guys learned anything?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Get into the close for agreement. So wrapping up, so we already talked to the client, we gave our presentation. We asked them all the questions, the needs analysis that we just discussed. I asked you guys earlier if you remember, or if you know that we have the app, the Keller Williams app with, yes. But we also have an app that shows all the properties. Do you guys know about that one?
Like the MLS.
It's the MLS within your Keller Williams app. Let me open up mine so I can show you guys, okay?
You log in with this login?
Yes, log in,
Okay, so it is.
log in with that, and I'll show you where it's at. I just gotta log into mine as well. Okay. So if you guys see your picture on the top, so your picture on the top, and see, you can share, so click on that picture on the top. And so you can always share your business card, you know that? So just have people scan that and all your information is gonna go into their phone so they can save it.
That's nice.
So that's your,
Like the add to contacts thing?
so that's your electronic business card. And then the other one is share my KW app link. So you click on that. Well, you're gonna, okay, so that's,
This
when
is
you
if you have
share
a
it,
website set up?
no.
Oh,
So when you share it, it's gonna go, this is what it's gonna show. So it shows all the properties all in the United States. So everywhere in the United States, they're gonna show the properties. And it also has a filter where they can filter 1 room, 3 rooms. And if you share that app with them, then it would automatically show into your command that you have a new contact looking into properties. And they can share those properties with you when they hit the little heart that they love the house. It will tell you, this person loved this house. And then you can tell your clients, well, you don't want to tell them that you saw that they're looking at houses, because then they're gonna feel like, wow, she knows what I'm doing. But you can say, oh, are you guys ready to look at properties? And maybe you can mention the property that they saw and see, do you guys like this house? Oh yeah, we actually love the house.
so where like on this screen, would you see if a person,
It will
is it just
show
like your
you,
notifications
yes,
that,
uh-huh.
hey, so-and-so
yes.
hearted this? Oh,
yeah, notifications.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's, you can share your business card or your app.
Okay,
Share my app, and when you share the app, that's what it's gonna show.
yeah,
This, the home app. Like,
gotcha.
like the MLS,
Mhm.
but within Keller Williams, and it's within the whole United States. So if they say, oh, you know what, I think we're gonna move to Florida. Oh, let me share you my app. And you can always say, I know agents in Florida, and refer them to the other agent in Florida, and you can get a referral fee. Mhm. Yep. So that's how, before you close up with your clients, you're done, you ask them if they have any questions, any concerns within your appointment. They say, no, we're good, everything's done, and everyone's like saying bye, but before that happens, don't forget to share your app. Because that's another way of them saving their information in command. Because before they can see a house for the first time, they have to register. And they put in all their information. And automatically goes into your system. So that's good. Yeah. I think we're done. Do you guys have any other questions? Any concerns? What do you guys like about the class?
Like at what point do you want this to sign an exclusive
Agreement?
by yourself?
Were you supposed to ask them to sign it on your appointment? Because that's the main purpose of the appointment. For them to sign the agreement, so you can start representing them.
How, like, can you find that paperwork on this app too?
No, that one, it's only on the MLS. That one, the specific contract, you need to print it out of the MLS. That I know of. I don't know that we have it, because it's a legal document within the state, so it's in the MLS for sure.
So you have that printed out?
Mhm. Yeah. Or you can always send it to them through DocuSign. If you got to the point where they've already talked to the lender, they're ready, they just haven't met with you, but you've helped them out a lot because they decided to go to the lender before they come to you in person, because you already know each other a lot through the phone. Then they say, I already have a pre-approval through the lender. I think we're ready to go. And you talk to the lender, they give you the pre-approval letter. You already know how much they got pre-approved for. Then you can say, okay, good. So I just need you to sign the contract that I'm representing you before I can show a house. And if they say, oh, I don't know about that. See, the thing is that before, because it's a new law, I think it's last year. Some agents, if they want, they can ask you, do you have a represented agreement for that buyer that you're gonna show the house to? So it's ideal that you have that represented agreement before you show the house. And if then they're still like, you can say, well, let's go see the house. Show them the house. You're done showing them the house, and you say, I'm gonna send you, you can bring it with you if you want. Or I'm gonna send you the represented agreement since I already show you the house. So that I can prove the agent that I'm your representative. You see what I mean? And especially if it's a house that they want, and let's send an offer for this house. Okay, well, I need the agreement signed before I can even send an offer. So a lot of the times when it's a client that went really fast on showing houses and going under contract, I will send all the documentation at once. But I would explain everything. So I'm gonna send you this document, and this is what's gonna have, and explain. And I'm gonna send you the Brevcy, which is a contract for the offer, and this is what's gonna explain. And when you receive it, you have questions, call me so we can go over the contract again. Yeah. And every client is different.
Yeah.
So that's another